And nowadays, a lot of people are getting scam calls for their job interviews. If you don't understand the value of your Social Security, you're gonna lose everything. One child can get over $6,000. He is shouting on you that I'm calling from IRS. Give me your Social Security number. You don't have to.
Uber, Lyft, Amazon, and DoorDash partners and people who work in this industry. How they file their taxes?
The child tax credit goes to those who are under 17 years old. Hey, you're an Uber driver. I can lower your tax due if you pay me $1,000.
Can an individual file taxes by their own? Smart movers, I'm Siam Pasarly. It is tax season, and today we are talking about taxes. And I have the honor to have in this show today Mr. Maywand Pohyar. Is that correct?
Correct.
Pohyar?
Yes, Maywand Pohyar.
Yeah. Most welcome. How are you?
Thank you very much. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. Thanks for accepting our invitation. I know these days are very busy for you guys.
Yeah, it's a busy time, tax season. Everyone wants to file their taxes on time and get their refund.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, again, thank you very much for coming. Usually, when we start our show, we ask about your personal life. I know I have information, but I would love if you can provide a little bit of information for the audience, for how long you are here and for how long you're in this business, what you have studied, is all.
Yeah, sure, why not? So I came in 2020 from Afghanistan.
In 2020?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I came in 2020 from Afghanistan to the US. So during that time, the only goal was to go back to Afghanistan and not to stay in the US.
So you came on 2020 before the Taliban took over?
Correct.
Okay. And then you start your life here?
Yeah, I started to live here. Yeah. It was basically I came in 2020 and I went back in 2021. So I got stuck there basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in 2021, and it was a great opportunity to to help other family members and other relatives to come over with me to the U.S. while coming back.
And it happened?
Yeah, it happened. Yeah. Other family members were able to come with me.
Oh wow, so cool.
Some of the friends came in, so it was a golden opportunity for them, and it was not basically a big risk for me. But my goal was to stay there, but unfortunately, whatever happened. Maybe that was that was higher than what we were thinking about.
Your English is very good. So where did you learn English?
So basically, when I came here in Afghanistan, I was working in various organizations, and from very little age, I started to learn English. I was in grade 8 while I was teaching English language. So that made me to, it must not be very good, but it just helped me out to...
Yeah, you solve your problem. I know English is not our native language. Lots of people, even in the US, we are the witness that there are lots of accents in our black community. Those people, when they talk, it is quite difficult for me to understand.
Correct.
Their accents are different. And then you go to other part of the US, it's mixed, but you're speaking and your English is good, it's understandable. Thank you very much. Yeah. So then, within this short period of time, you started your own business?
So in 2021, when I came, my goal was to get the credentials, specifically the education credits from the US. I started to search around the universities where I can get another. Basically, I did my 2 master's degree in back home country, and I thought to have one more from the US in order to increase my knowledge in a specific field where the United States or specifically in Chicago, the business management area is higher. The demand for the business management. So I started to do some survey of the universities and see my pocket money, how I can support the education. So in 2020, I started to to get admission in one of the universities. It's around by here, Northeastern University.
Okay, good.
And my goal was to complete MBA, Business Administration, Master's in Business Administration, and getting that, I wanted to do business here in the United States and in Afghanistan. So
so did you finish your master's?
I did.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you very much.
When did you finish?
I have completed my master's degree in 2020, December.
And what was it? MBA, you said MBA. Good, that's so
MBA,
good.
yeah.
And then you started your own business?
So I started my business, yeah. And my goal was in 2020, alternatively, I started online business, specifically in Amazon. I had a store to, buy things from Dell computers. I had a partnership with Dell computers with their refurbished computers, and I was buying those computers and then selling them back online through the Amazon channels. I had a store there. So even though I was in Afghanistan, I was able to sell my computers.
Wow.
Yeah, because that was a third place where I put all these computers. And it was an automated business, and money was coming into my pocket.
Please have your coffee.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it is amazing, and you also have the experience of e-commerce, and you did Amazon. I would love to know how that went. Why you stopped Amazon?
Basically, it was a good income. I want to continue, but since when I went to Afghanistan, there was a break between me and my the partnership I made with Dell, and there was some policy change with Dell that I was unable to buy the customer sales computer in discounts and to sell them back. So that's why I thought of doing something else rather than continuing that business, even though there were a lot of more products to buy and sell. But my understanding of computer was great. That's why I started to choose buying computer products. And once that policy changed, then due to that, other things happened, specifically tough time to study, at the university, and tough time to complete the biggest assignments. So that made me a little bit lazy to do my own business.
So you changed your business?
Yeah, I changed my business. I wanted to get into what I learned during these 1.5 years.
What was that?
Finance. Finance, yeah.
So you have now a non-profit organization and also private.
Correct.
business.
So yeah, I started. Then I turned that business into non-profit organization because the market was open for the non-profit organization, and we had huge number of Afghans coming from Afghanistan, and I want to help them out with various things, specifically on volunteering and providing volunteer support to.
So did you got any grant from the government?
No, unfortunately, it's very competitive here to get a grant because there are hundreds of nonprofit organizations. While applying for a grant, they're looking for the criteria, and due to the lower experience and lower number of people working with me or stuff like that, avoid me to get grants.
So then you start your other business?
Yeah, so basically I was not able to do all the profit things with a non-profit organization. That's why I started to have my another business for preparing taxes, because in 2021 and 2022 it was a demand for specific. My whole goal was to support my countrymen, my refugees and other refugees, because there were barriers, specifically the language barriers, the awareness barriers, understanding of different context and terms. I want to simplify these terms and terminologies and explain things very well to the people in their own language. So I started to have a tax business with my other colleagues, and this only happened three months a year.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's why. Throughout the year, I'm not too busy with these things, but this season it helps me and other colleagues who are currently working to help others and gain attention to explain the various terms and the easy ways to apply for taxes.
So how many people visit your office every day for tax clarification?
Basically, currently I'm working somewhere else beside this business and the other business. And during the day, there are two other guys who are helping me with filing taxes and preparing taxes. I usually work after 5 o'clock.
Okay.
On a daily basis, and on Saturday and Sundays I work after 11 o'clock.
Okay.
So
it is working time now?
It's actually a working time, but this is a great opportunity to explain things in great ways to the people who are not very well known to the taxes and how they can file their taxes.
Thank you very much. So we come to the topic directly or indirect, but finally, the purpose is here to talk about the U.S. law and the tax, the procedure, especially the people who are new here. What are their responsibilities? So I would love to know more about your experience and how you help people, and what are the requirements.
Of course. So I'm an MBA, I took some courses for taxes and accounting. It means that I'm not a CPA, but a CPA is not actually, according to my knowledge, a CPA is not a requirement to become a tax preparer. Everyone can be a tax preparer. They have to learn the different softwares and different terminologies, different forms that IRS. According to my knowledge and understanding, every single individual and families have to file their taxes. But there are some terms and conditions, in what terms and conditions they have to file their taxes.
Good. I see you have some forms here.
So there are two forms, basically 1040 for the federal and 1040 for state. You have to file both taxes. We can't just ignore one and do the other.
And that's for everybody?
That's for every single person. So when I say every single person, it doesn't mean that those who doesn't have income, they have to file their taxes. There are certain amounts that you don't have to file your taxes, but there are a lot of benefits that you can file your taxes. Example, if you're a single and you earned less than $13,000, you don't have to file your taxes. If you're married and you earn lower than $27,700, you don't have to file your taxes, but there are benefits. You can file your taxes. Example, there are credits. The credits could be EIC, Earned Income Credit, or Child Tax Credit. The Earned Income Credit for a single is $500, and you can take the advantage of that credit. And the advantage for a family or those who are filing jointly, if they file jointly and they earn $27,000 or lower than that, there are a tremendous amount of money that is coming back to their pocket as a refund because of their kids, because they're filing jointly, and we can go deeply into that. And the other benefits are that you basically avoid penalties and interest. If you don't file your taxes, there are penalties that you have to pay for.
Oh.
Yeah, example, you earn $10,000 more than the standard deduction or standard amount of money that you have, the taxable amount. You have to report to the IRS that I've earned this money and this is what I'm reporting. If you don't, and if there is tax due that you have to pay to the government, there are certain penalties that you have to pay.
What kind of penalties is that?
Penalty, example, if 500 taxes due that you have to pay and you didn't pay, let's suppose there's $50 that you have to pay over for the other month.
Some people say if you don't pay, they will send you to the jail. It's also true?
Well, of course, it's definitely true. It depends on the amount of money you didn't pay. Okay, and the penalties is that not only penalty money you have to pay, but the interest over that. You know, the interest rate nowadays, it's getting higher and higher,
Yeah.
and the government is using that penalty plus the interest. It's a
Yeah,
big
and I think it is more fraud if the people do fraud and illegal things, then the IRS and the government will take it serious. They will make that decision. Otherwise, if they file, as you said, if they don't file, or if anything went wrong, so they will just send for extra money. They will send a mail. Okay, they pay this amount of money extra as a penalty, as a this, as a that.
Yeah, they definitely send them a letter. Yesterday I was confronting a person. He was retired basically, and he was working, and his income was over 60,000. He didn't know how to read that letter, and IRS called him, and he didn't understand what they're talking about. He continued to work, and he continued to file his taxes. But the problem was that retired person, he have to have certain, permission to work after retirement, and he have to pay his taxes. He worked for 6 years after retirement, and he paid his taxes. He got a call from the government, from the IRS, that if you earn $1 after 60,000, you have to pay $3 over it as tax.
Oh.
And he was very much upset about it, and he came last night to my office, and he told me to help him out. He didn't know how to do this, and because of the language barrier. And this is one of the examples that if you don't understand it, and you're still continuing doing bad things, or you're not following the rules, the regulation that's applied by the IRS, you have to read it. It's your responsibility.
Yeah, and did you help that person?
Yeah, so today afternoon he is gonna come, and I will explain everything to him.
Oh, okay. I hope you guys solve the problem. It's not fun.
And the other benefit is you protect your credit basically while you're filing taxes. Credit score is going up and up.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't file your taxes, it's coming down.
Yeah,
and
you're right. And it is very important to have good credit score in the US.
Yeah, this is one of the challenging part for every individual, that they're thinking of credit scores. And the other is, you build your Social Security benefit. Once you retire, government or the IRS is giving you Social Security benefits. So that's one of the benefits, that you have to file your taxes.
You talk about the Social Security. I have this one question about the identity theft, especially in taxes.
Tax season. Yeah. And nowadays, a lot of people are getting scam calls for their job interviews, working from home, working remotely. They're offering jobs, and they're literally thieving or stealing their identity. Their identity is their Social Security number. And nowadays, if you don't understand the value of your Social Security, you're gonna lose everything. It's because a second person is going to work on your behalf, and you don't know. And he is not going to pay taxes. You have to pay your taxes then. One of the guy came to my office. That's why I shared this knowledge. That's called PIN. You have to have a PIN number. The guy came to my office. He was scammed, and he said that someone called me, and someone was asking about his Social Security numbers. And unfortunately, because he didn't know the language, the way how to deal with the people over the phone, he provided that. So my advice was to urgently go and create a PIN number for yourself.
Oh yeah.
In order to create a PIN number, you have to have an account in ID.me or in IRS.org, and then .gov, and then they provide you a PIN number. The PIN number is actually a key for you to save your Social Security.
Wow, that's so good. That's good information.
Yeah, so no one can use that.
Do you guys provide this service also?
Correct. So when someone is filing their taxes electronically, we automatically create a PIN number for them.
Okay.
Yeah. So the second time they want to file their taxes somewhere else, they have to come to us, or we give them their PIN number. That's your PIN number. Keep it safe. They want to file their taxes, or someone else is filing taxes on their behalf. Example, someone is claiming someone else's child's. Child have credit.
Yeah.
Every child have, like, one child can get over $6,000 in one return. So if someone is stealing your child's identity and he is using that him as his, claiming him as his dependent, then you are not able to claim your kid.
So this is important that everybody who is in the US or the people who are coming, they are refugees, they are new, they need to keep their documents confidential.
Very confidential and very safe. They don't have to give these information to no one. Even though if you're receiving a call from someone from the government entity and he is shouting on you that I'm calling from IRS, give me your social security number, you don't have to. A lot of people get called from U.S. immigration and asking about this. They are scam calls.
Yeah, thank you very much for that information. Another hot topic is about Uber, Lyft, Amazon, and DoorDash partners and people who work in this industry. How they file their taxes?
That's actually a hard question and a great question. I want to go over this. Do you want to talk about the 1040? Yes. So the 1040 is one of the form that every individual who want to file their taxes, individual and family members, they can file their taxes using this form 1040 for IRS and 1040 for state. So there are several steps, but it have other other sub forms that are connected to this. I will go literally over the stages that it has, and then I will come to your question about it.
Please, do that.
So the first part of this form is usually your and your spouse information. If you're filing single, the second part is about filing status. What status do you want to file? The first state is single, married, filing jointly, or head of the family. You're a head of the family if you have sisters or you have other dependents that you're helping them for half of the year, half or more than half of a year, supporting them for 50% of their needs and stuff. You are the head of the family. You can claim them as your dependent.
So here I have one question. See, I have family, but they're not here. What happened? Can I say I'm married?
They have to be in the U.S.
So if someone their families are not here, they cannot consider them married, or they consider it single?
Yeah, they have to file single. They're not considered, but they have to file as single because their dependents or their family members or their wives are not with them. So the term is that they have to be here in the United States for more than 6 months.
Okay.
Now the status, if you're filing jointly single, there are some benefits, or if you're filing married, there are other benefits, and the same way the married filing jointly, married separately. If you're family members and you're want to file separately, your wife works, you work, you want to have a status of who earned how much and how much return is going to come. But my preference would be still for them to file jointly, because the tax deduction or the standard tax deduction for this year is $27,700, which means that the taxable amount starts after the $27,700. You subtract that number. Example, you earn $100,000 and now you're filing jointly, so you have to subtract the $27,700 and then
it is calculate. Like for everybody, like independent contractors, or no, just
for every single person or family members. So if you want to file single, now you have to subtract $13,800. That's coming a bit lower, which you have to pay more taxes on your income.
Yeah.
And head of the family is $20,800 something. And now the other part we have is dependents. In the dependents, we usually put all the dependents who you claim. They shouldn't be your family members. It doesn't matter. They shouldn't be. There are several relations that you can have. They could be other dependents, example, your parents, or someone else who want who you helped throughout the year, through his necessities and needs, and now you want to file him as or claim him. The dependent doesn't mean that you can definitely earn or get the credits that the government or the IRS is paying them. There are two credits: child tax credit and earned income credit, that every independent or every taxpayer can basically claim on that. So there are certain conditions and terms that you can claim these. Example, if you're claiming your parents, you can claim the child tax credit for them. Because they're under 17, the child tax credit goes to those who are under 17 years old. The child tax credit is basically $2,000 per child. It went to $3,000 to $3,600 in 2021 due to the COVID-19, but it came back to $2,000. And the refundable amount that the government or IRS is giving is $1,600, not the whole $2,000. The refundable is, if you're eligible, if someone is eligible to get that money, the refundable is only $1,600. So you can multiply that number by the number of kids. But still,
if someone have 5 kids, like some of our Afghan, they have 10 kids.
Understandable.
So then they get lots of money?
No, that's not the case actually. It depends on their income. What is the income they have? They earn. Example, someone earned 25,000. He have to, there are certain conditions that IRS is multiplying that number. They have specific formula. Due to that, they are not earning the whole thing. They are not taking the whole 16.
So it's not true.
It's true, basically.
It's true that they cannot have lots of money from the IRS.
From the IRS, it's not like you have 10 kids and you're gonna take $1,600 per kid. It depends on certain or various conditions. It depends on your income. It depends on how much taxes you paid during the year, and stuff like that. And
you also talk about dependents. Those dependents should also be in the U.S.
They should be here for more than 6 months.
I asked this for clarification.
Thank you. Yeah, for more than 6, because I see a lot of refugees come at the end of the year in August, and I clearly tell them that, hey, you want to claim him as you're dependent, but they're not going to get the earned income credit because they were not here for 6 months. You can take a portion of the child tax credit, but not the earned income credit. So it's very necessary. Here's a point. If you claim someone and saying that he was here with me for more than 6 months, you lied to the government, and now the government, once your turn come in the audit, every person is being audited once in a while, not once or 3 years a while, or 3 to 5 years. Once the IRS understand that you claimed him wrongfully, they're gonna come back to you. They say, okay, for 2 more years, till 10 years, you cannot claim your kid as your dependent. You see?
Yeah.
The penalty, that's the penalty. Plus, they will take all the money they give it to you, plus penalty and plus the interest.
Oh my God, yeah.
So you don't have, it's important to understand not claiming someone if they're not under certain conditions.
There are some people that try to do some fraud, and they try to use some tricky method and show their income less, or the family, the dependent, that they should not pay the exact amount to IRS. But also it has a consequence, as if they added.
Very bad consequence. So the consequence goes to the taxpayer and the tax preparer. The tax preparer are less, at risk at that time, because they do what the taxpayer tell them. And they have a due diligence form at the end that they felt that, I asked him, he was here for 6 years, for 6 months, or all these kids were his or her dependent, and he have an interview with the tax preparer. So according to that interview, he files his taxes and he file it. Once he file it, now the responsible party is the taxpayer. The taxpayer says he is my dependent for more than 6 months, while he is not. Now the IRS understand, okay, you're not true, you're not right, then they're gonna come back after the taxpayer. If the
So tax preparer is also someone that they will come after him.
Of course, there are a lot of stories about tax preparers.
What kind of stories?
Example, the tax preparer says, hey, you're an Uber driver, I can lower your tax dueable if you pay me $1,000, which is illegal. You can't do that. Example, he is gonna put some more expenses on your income, that your income will come lower and you pay lesser taxes. A person work 120,000 in Uber, and now he is not gonna, he have to pay his taxes. The tax preparer says, I'm here to help you to lower your taxes from 15,000 to 5,000.
And is there any cases that these tax preparer arrested by IRS?
Yes. You know, there are a lot of cases. You can go to IRS and read about their stories, and read the cases that were, filed against. The first thing, they revoke their, authorization to file taxes. The second thing is they put you into jail for more than a year.
Oh.
And the third is you have to pay penalty.
Oh my God, yeah.
Consequences are bad. You have to follow the law, the rule. Nothing is going to get wrong. And you have to advise your taxpayer that, hey, you want to go to jail, you want to pay penalties, you want to pay interest on your penalties, and more things like that.
Or be legal.
Or be illegal, yeah. And according to our religious thing, it's haram, right?
It's haram, yeah.
Yeah, why are you doing this? If you truly understand that I didn't do this. Example, one of the guy came to me and say, hey, I want to go to a mechanic and he is gonna give me a receipt, which is a proof that I changed your engine, or you fixed your engine for plenty of $1,000, and you can put that as my expense, which lower my taxes. I say, okay, ethically that's wrong, and religiously that's haram, and according to the US law that's illegal.
It's illegal.
You are doing this, but you will see the consequence.
And also that mechanic that they provide the invoice for you, like suppose $3,000, they should also clear their taxes.
They should clear.
They should have it in their system.
Correct.
And it's, if the IRS couldn't find there, so
yeah,
it is fraud.
It's definitely fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a chain of everything. It's not gonna. You're not gonna hide somewhere, or no one is gonna hide. Whoever is connected in that case, they're gonna be audited.
Yeah.
And they have to answer to a certain amount of questions.
Here, before you explain this one, can an individual file taxes by their own?
Yes, why not? That's what I'm explaining, that you can just file your taxes by your own. You don't have to go to a tax preparer. The tax preparer is a third party. You authorize him or her to file your taxes.
Cool, that's good. Please explain that.
Yeah, sure. So after you put your dependents into the form, the dependents basically give you the calculation, how much refund you're gonna get. It's very clearly that while you are filing your taxes, the general idea behind this is that you're reporting to the government or to the IRS that here are the number of taxes I paid, and if I paid over, you have to give it to me back, and if I paid lower, I have to give it to you.
Yeah.
That's the idea behind it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And it is very transparent procedure.
It's very transparent. That's why we said why you have to file your taxes. Should you file your taxes or not? If you want to file your taxes, there are a certain amount of benefits. And at the same time, I'm pretty sure that during the time you're filing your taxes, you put your dependents. That determines how much money you're gonna get back from IRS.
Yeah.
Because during the year or during the time you start your employment, you have to fill a form by the employer, which is called W-4.
Yes.
which is tax withholding form. There you determine how much taxes you have to pay during the year after every paycheck you get from your employer. So there's a table that the federal taxes or brackets are explained very clearly after this.
Please explain the form, if review it.
Okay, definitely. So after dependents, you have income. There are two forms of income.
Okay.
One, you have W-2. The second, you have 1099.
Okay.
So W-2 is actually an employment form. You are an employee for a company, and they give you at the end of the year that this is the taxes you paid. And 1099 is a contractor. You work with a company and you say, I don't want to pay taxes. I will pay my taxes at the end of the year. That's all. So they give you at the end of the year a 1099 form instead of a W-2. So the benefit of W-2 is that 50% of Social Security, your Medicare taxes, and your unemployment insurance is being given to the government by the employer.
Yes.
And 50% is on you, which is a benefit.
So it is good to have W-2.
It's very good to have W-2 because one of the other thing is that
you can have your coffee also.
Yeah, sure.
Free, yeah.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yes. It's so interesting. The informations are very good. I really appreciate your information. And with this less amount of time, you get lots of information.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. So in a W-2, you give your taxes, portion by portion, a very lower amount every paycheck, like maybe $20 or $50. But at the end of the year, a 1099 contractor have to pay like $10,000.
Oh my God.
Maybe $5,000, maybe more than that. It depends on his income. But on a W-2, you usually pay lower taxes, even though you will get refund because you paid overpayment to the government, or you will pay a little bit taxes because you pay a little, taxes. It's because during the year the law changes. That's why you report. Example, the law for 2022 was different than 2023. Due to the inflation, the child tax credit increased, the earned income credit increased, the federal tax rate come to a lower point, and taxable amount is, last year it was 25,000 tax standard deduction, and this year is 27,700. So that's why it's changing, and it's giving you a refund. Now the income, if you have an income on W-2, the W-2 is usually, there are 6 boxes. In box number 2, let me just have that on like one of my phone. I will explain on box number 2, which is the federal income taxes. In box number 2, during the year, the employer turn your federal income taxes. If you fill the form W-4 in the beginning of the year with your employer and to say that I'm not going to pay the taxes for federal due to the dependents you have, because every dependent is having a 2,000 credit and it's multiplied by the number of children. And there's a form that they follow that's provided to them by the IRS. According to that, they're calculating your taxes, and they're not turning your taxes, but it still depends on you. Do you want to pay taxes or not? So there are several brackets. It starts with 10%, 12%, 22%, 24%, 32%, and 35%. If it comes over certain amounts, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that if you have earning of 120,000, you have to pay 22% taxes. It means that for the portion of 10%, you have to pay 10%. For the portion of,
how much is the portion for 10%?
11,000.
Okay.
It subtract the 11,000 of the income, taxable income. When I say taxable income, we subtract the deductible amount, the 27,000 or 13,000. So on your taxable income, the first 11,000 is being calculated as 10%. After that, it's calculated 12%. It's
from 11,000 till
I think it's 22,000.
okay, yeah, like it goes like up.
It goes up. After 22,000, example, you pay 22%.
Oh yeah.
Until a certain amount. Then 24% until a certain amount, and then 32% until other certain.
Oh yeah.
The brackets are already there. There is a table everyone can see on IRS. Taxable amount, federal taxable amount.
And also, I think it's available on some online application form application. Some people are using those systems.
Correct.
They can use, and it is very easy. They see.
Yeah.
The system calculate for them.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what I was trying to explain, that when you are filing electronically, there are certain amount of softwares that are being used by the tax preparers or individuals that they calculate everything on back end.
Okay, do you have any suggestion for people, or you?
Yeah, of course. Like if you want to file your taxes online and you don't want to give your social security to someone, or you don't feel safe, you can go to TurboTax. That's one of the suggestions you can go, and it's very interactive. You can easily put your information, and if it's a W-2, it's very easy. They tell you, go to this box, get this amount, and put it here.
Yeah, I used that one last year, TurboTax. It is not that complicated.
It is not.
It is very easy. It is like they guide you.
They guide you. Yeah, it's very interactive. They tell you every step what to do, in the next step. Yeah, and on the other hand, IRS have plenty of software companies that they help you to file your taxes free.
Wow.
If you have certain amount of money earned during that year, example 50,000, you have 50,000 income, you don't have to pay your tax preparer, or you don't have to pay a company, a software, because your income is lower. They have some type of partnership.
How can they find these softwares?
You can go to irs.gov and search on the search bar that, there's a big link on the front page. You can go and say, file your tax for free.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, you can go and file your tax for free.
Well, thank you very much for the information, and you provide honest information. I know accountants don't provide. They say, why I should ruin my business?
No,
but
it's a general thing.
I really appreciate this.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We only, the tax preparer charge people for what they did. It doesn't matter that they have to. Everyone should come and file their taxes with a tax preparer.
But still, thank you very much. It is really transparent, and like you do this all. It is almost like you just destroy your business in giving free information to the people. Like you should not come to me, but you can do it by your own.
Correct.
It's honesty. I appreciate this.
Yesterday, one of the guy came and he was filing his taxes, and he already filed it. He didn't file his taxes. He checked it online in TurboTax, and he says that, hey, I've filled the form, but I'm not confident. Would you be able to file it and give me an estimate how much I get returned? When I checked, it was equal amount.
Okay.
I say, wow, it's equal. It's not a cent up and down. I say, wow, yeah, it's great. So then I told him, would you like to file, or you still want to file online? He said, if I file here, how much would I pay? And I know how much I have to pay online.
Yeah.
So honestly, for an individual to file with TurboTax is, I think, $122 something.
Yeah.
And we charge him $70.
Okay. Yeah. It was cheaper.
Yeah, it was cheaper, of course. So honestly, one of the other organization, I don't know if it's open to.
Please open. It is a free stage, boss.
Okay, great. The Afghan Cultural Center supported the low-income individuals and families who can't pay their fees, the higher fee or whatever, for $50. they pay $50 to us, so we can file on their behalf to the people who can't pay their fees.
Wow, this is so good. I really think the Afghan Culture Center, they are doing amazing.
That's specifically for Afghan refugees here, because honestly, most of the people I know, they don't have income. They're worried about filing their taxes. They don't have enough to pay their tax fee, even though I have certain amount of situations that people come to me. Since I'm a tax preparer, from my side, usually I just I waive the fee and it's okay.
I understand that is the same feeling that we have. I and Robert, people are coming here. We have this employment services agency, like a staffing, and when I see people, and we write resumes, executive resumes, we charge people.
Correct.
But when the refugees came, we get busy with them. We cannot send them to organization with a bad resume, and then I and Robert, we just check that and provide information. I know we are a business. We need to earn money.
Yeah, you have a lot of expenses. You have to pay the rent, the electricity, the bills.
Yeah,
yourself.
We will come to the topic. Do you want to say something?
I do. So I really, really want you to talk about refugees, because so many people come to this country and they don't understand the rules. And I know you've talked about this, but I want you to really, really emphasize this.
Okay.
Because they're scared. People are scared of the government. And I want you to address, I know it's scary, it's intimidating, you're worried about making mistakes, but don't do nothing. Here are, I want you to repeat all that stuff about the Afghan Cultural Center, about your business. And I know you're doing that, but I really, really want to hear this strong, because I'm thinking of people who are going to see this and go, oh, good, and they're going to feel better. Audio.
Thank you, boss.
I'm dealing with a lot of, not only with Afghan refugees from Burma, from Pakistan, from India, from Iran.
Ukraine,
yeah.
Venezuela.
Honestly, yeah. So these people come to my office and, they say, my friend is working with me at the same company in the same hours I work and the same money he earns and the same amount of kids he or she have, but he is earning more refund and I'm getting lower refund. I say, okay, let me check. Can you show me his and your W-2 so I can understand, is that the case? When I check, the other guy who earned more refund or who got more refund from the IRS is because he paid federal taxes year, even though he don't have to.
Yes.
He paid. And that's why he is earning more refund. And the guy who is claiming that why my refund is coming low, I say, okay, come to the box number 2 on W2 form and see your federal income tax, which is returnable to you because of your dependents. So when he says, checks this, I say, oh yeah, that's the case. And I literally calculate every single benefit he is taking, and tell him that this is the true and this is, what you have to pay and what you have to earn. And the other 4 boxes are the Social Security taxes on W-2 that's being calculated. That's 6.2% this year, and in 2023, and Medicare taxes withheld is 1.45%. These are both for your retirement. When you retire, you will get these back from your, these are returnable on that time. And the other one is the state income tax. Whatever state you live, they have their own tax rate. For the Illinois, it's 4.95%. It's a flat rate. After all the taxes or the gross income, they deduct the 4.95% from those who have to pay. It still depends on your dependents, how many dependents you have, kids, whoever. And this can be returnable once you file your taxes, because it depends how many dependents you have and what are their conditions, specifically their age, your earning and stuff like that. So on W-2, it's very easy and very simple. You can check your W-2 form and you can see all those boxes, and you can understand what amount of money you can get back. It's an estimate you can do yourself, even though. put your W-2 in front of you and take out that federal and state and see your kids.
So good. Thank you very much.